Hi all, just a quick sort of update if you like. It's December the 2nd, Saturday, Acorn Winter League, 3rd round. Sorry, I'll just adjust that. We've just arrived at the fishery. I'm going to have to dash because we're late. I've had to scrabble a breakfast as well because there was a road closed. Typically, there are diversion signs, and I think somebody I was out last night playing about with the signs in the town bit where probably a few people who've had a couple of pints, and I've really gone off round the lanes and completely got lost. Anyway, so catch you in a bit. These are deadly disco pinkies. Some nice red maggots. A little bit of micro, don't think we'll be needing it, but use a tiny bit if we have to. And there's a secret weapon there. This will be going in teeny tiny amounts. Tom Thicks, an expander 50-50, and I'm putting in like that amount. A couple of pinkies. Been flour sieved. Here's the peg down the left. Gonna fish a line there. Put a line in down here. Just won't feed it until we know it's gonna fish out here. And if I break a line out here, I'm gonna lose all the ice. And Didn't really want to do that, but so let's just hope. I think there'll be fish here in that space, and let's just hope they move up to here. Fine. And here you got that bit of open water. That is absolutely bungo. This bloke got to, Mark. Tad cold out, Mark.
It's a bit cold, mate. It's a bit cold.
Stiff as solid. Thanks for joining us, everybody. So this is Acorn Winter League round 3. We've drawn a pretty good peg, but we are in the good section this week, and I'm thankful we're in the good section. At first I sort of thought this section is the one that does all the weights. I really wanted a good weight. This is totally the wrong conditions to get a good weight, and weight always comes into it in these leagues, doesn't it? If you joint points and that with people, it comes into it. And I just thought, but now I'm realising how hard it's going to fish, and I'm thinking, do you know what, I'm glad I'm in the good section. There'll be some pegs a day that may well blank or just catch 1 or 2 fish, so we're not far from fish on this peg. But in all honesty, the best pegs in the section without a doubt will be 5 and 9, although we took the mick a bit with Martin there, as you've seen. 5 and 9 will be, they got that bit of a bowl there, and the fish do tend to hold up there when it goes cold. But so 5, 9, and I thought sort of 10 and 12, which you can see there to my left. You've got Big Lee sat on 12. He's just at the rear end of that white van you can see to my left. I thought those 2 pegs and sort of peg 6 and peg 2 would be my next sort of choice. Yeah, peg 4 in the section I didn't really want. So you probably see me break the ice there at the start as well, and let me just explain that, because I had an empty plastic bottle there, and what I should have really done is put a little bit of water in that empty plastic bottle, and you put how much water you want dependent on how thick the ice is. That way it doesn't sink to the bottom, and you just drag it across. For the sort of ice we had on there today, I may well have got away with that with sort of half a bottle of water. But in all honesty, 1, I didn't want to stick my hands in that freezing cold water, and 2, I wanted to get that icebreaker in really quick. I wanted to break the ice first. That's why I was in a rush when I chatted to you in the van. As soon as we got here, I wanted to draw, get to the peg, break that ice first. I just figured the quicker I do the smashing around, those fish spook out your peg any that are there, and then as other people are breaking the ice, your peg sort of becomes that bit of sanctuary, if that makes sense. You're sort of the quiet area that they can back off into, or at least that was the sort of the plan. So we just cracked on with it, really. So first fish, great sign. 5 minutes in. We did have quite a bit of this right today. It did get a little bit frustrating, really, but it's just one of those, again, one of those sort of mental things, isn't it, in match fishing? You just have to get your head round and get on with it. If you're on an end, sometimes you're going to get that. It's just you against the peg, as always. You can see me just looking around to me right there because we're only a few minutes in and I've caught a fish, but already peg 5 is catching really well. He's gone at about, I'd say about 10 meters in the deep water. Had potted what I think is maggots. I can't be sure from here, but yeah, and he's just sat over it and caught and just repeated the process really, and it just every time he's gone in he's had one. Martin to my right is trying to dob the same as me, so I've just gone to my deep water and seen if my deep waters is popular with fish. It is pegs 5 and it isn't, not a sniff. So back across, struggled to find any more to be honest, so we put a dolly butt on, as you can see, and we pushed it into the shelf a little bit because I foul hooked one after that one. You've seen I caught, I foul hooked one, and I just felt they were just at the shelf a little bit more, so I shallowed up a bit, plumbed it up again, and just pushed it over a little bit more, fitting about 4 to 6 inches off the bottom. 8mm punch bread, 0.14 hook length on punch bread. They're not that fussy really. 16 hooks, so quite robust. And Martin now to my right is actually he's come away from trying to dob. He hasn't had a sign dobbing, so he's gone off to his right in the deep water, and he's catching really well as well now in that deeper water. Not over worried about it at the moment. Lee to my left I can see struggling as well, so I might be sort of on the edge of them, and Lee further away. So I'm just going to stick with what we're doing for now, but I will keep checking that deep water. Yeah, I do feel I need that deep water to come good really, because it's a nice flat bottom. I need somewhere that I'm going to be able to feed and catch consistently to be able to compete in this section. This section is a good section. I know it's freezing and everything, but looking how those two are catching to my right, if you're on a few, it does seem that a percentage of the fish are willing to feed, and I'm going to need a bit of a weight to compete. Quite simple today. Obviously, as you can see, we're dobbing the bread across, and also we've got 2 rigs for the deep water. We've got one that's sort of a 4x14 bulk down, 012 bottom, 18 B911, and then on the other one I've got orange hydro, 016 mainline, and we've got 01 hook length on it. That's just in case it was really hard. To be fair, I don't think I'm going to want that rig today in this peg. In some of the other pegs I would have, no doubt, but not here, I don't think. I certainly hope not. That was a bit of a gutter, wasn't it, that big fish? He was hooked in the mouth as well. We're an hour in now and I've hooked my 3rd fish on the bread. Well, 4th actually. I foul hooked one, but we've only got one in the net so far, so not ideal. Not when you can see other pegs, catching one to put. Not really fast, but every time they go in feed, they're just lining a rig in on it and they're catching. Obviously it's quite a chilly day as well, as you can see, but I love it, all weathers really. It's nice, isn't it? And such a good fishery this as well, such a good bunch of guys. It's cracking fishing. I'm fairly happy getting the odd bite at the moment, to be honest. So 2 fish, 2 good stamped carp as well though, so mate, lost the temper, he's properly up, he's got a trade it for ages, a bit of a gutter that, so I'd probably be up there. I've had 2 mate, I've had 2 foul hooks, 2 and lost one. Hey? Yeah, I've seen you, I've got a 6. Yeah. 8 now when it's cold, isn't it? 6 and 10 were my next two, but I wanted 5, 9 and first, like, really. But it's here, mate. It's a nightmare. It just keeps getting ice in front of me, look. How am I getting it past that? Ice everywhere here. Everything everybody's broke up there has come down in front of me. I'm not complaining, fantastic.
The third cart, we're 90 minutes in now, so I'm going to get rid of the dobbing now. So I've gone across, plumbed up with the dobbing rig, found what I think is a little bit of a flat spot, but it isn't really. It's a horrible shelf. Fed it, and I've gone back across dobbing just slightly to the right of it, just to let that little bit of bait settle. And literally, we've just put in maggots. That's it, and not many, like 10 maggots. So we caught 5 or 6 fish there across on that line. I did foul hook a couple as well. After foul hooking 2 on the trot, I sort of plumbed up across again and pushed the rig across and fished in even shallower water. It was really slow waiting for bites, to be honest. I mean, we did have bites, which is lovely, but it was hardly fast and frantic. We probably had those fish over a period of about an hour and a quarter. So we've got a couple of hours left now, and I've just gone down into the deep water and hooked my first fish in the deep water, which is brilliant. As I was saying, the kit, as I was saying earlier, the kit for down the deep water, white hydro, 012 hook length, 4x14 rube, this one. Dotted right down, mind. Man, it's a good fish as well, isn't it? Can't stop it. It's a good thing about this area. There are some better fish. They always sort of loiter around this area. If I can get into a few of those, it wouldn't take too long to catch the other guys up. A little bit of ground bait in that wasn't working, so what I ended up doing, I don't know if you noticed just now when I hooked this fish, is I've put another section on. So we're like at 11 meters, and it's same depth, I just fed maggots and fished maggot over maggot, and we had a bite, which is brilliant. Um, section and a half or whatever, that one section shorter, where we put in those little balls trying to catch all the pinkies and things, was just all wrong. Or it might be location, of course, this weather. Sometimes you have got to find the fish, but all I know is putting on that section, dripping a few maggots in there, going back across, didn't catch one across, waited 10 minutes, come back, and we had one.
It's a big fish and playing it 5 minutes. I was fishing wussy kit, no? Half your weight. What's that? Proper hiding you give me today, Mark.
I'll take your time a little bit with these better fish. Not so much because they're fighting, they just get their heads down, don't they? Tail up, just use their weight, just nod their heads. I don't see any reason to come off my 012 hook length though and go heavier. They're not fighting that much, and I'm not catching that fast, and I don't want to risk not getting a bite for that little bit longer, or having to wait a bit longer for a bite, or I haven't got the time left really to do those sort of risks. So gave it a little rest, then went across, didn't catch anything, but I felt the need to rest that line. Yeah, and that's where it, doesn't it? Straight back in there. Still got the ice moving around in front of me. It's thawed really fast actually. It doesn't feel warm at all, but it has thawed. It quite surprised me. I reckon it's melted from that little heater on the side tray I got. Yeah, that's a nice fish. Yeah, the heater's more for the hands, really, just every now and then, just to warm my fingers up, and also keep the pinkies and maggots from sort of just going dormant, keeping them a little bit livelier as well. I don't need many of them to start catching up. So about 90 minutes left of the match now. I feel we're probably sort of in the top 5 of the 8 in the section at the moment, and that's 5th or 4th, I think, somewhere around there at the moment. But all to play for. I certainly feel like we're catching people up now. I think the stamp of fish we're catching, and the rate we're catching as well. I think we're catching as well, if not faster than some others now. Feeding, it's a bit strange really. I sort of I've ended up sort of filling the cab pot almost with maggots. Now it's a small cab pot, but filling it with maggots, dropping it in there and going somewhere else for 10 minutes, and then going back over it. You have to wait, but I can catch sort of couple of fish on that. I have tried feeding another line in the deep water the same, but I can't get anything on it. The only line I can catch on at the moment is this line. But in saying that, I'm still looking elsewhere just to give it a rest. As I say, you can't stay plundering one line. And I haven't got a silver net in. I've got 2 nets in, one for silvers, one for carp. I've caught a few more fish than I expected, so I've been using both nets for carp, but I haven't got a silver net in. I've just hooked a skimmer, so I've just nipped out to get a net, and yeah, no harm done to the fish there. Just let him wait a little bit. Yeah, as I say, look, trying the same line down that left-hand side in that open water. And not a touch there. Never had a touch there all day. Every time we dropped on it, probably dropped on it 3 or 4 times just to check, and absolutely nothing.
Well done, mate. Fucking hell. Brilliant. 120. No, you're right, Mark. You ain't beating him. 55? You ain't got 70 pounds. You've got about 80. You've got about 90 pounds, yeah? Oh, well, mate. I'll look at the clicker and I'll tell you properly. I ain't got a lot, Mark. I've caught the last hour for you. For 3 hours, I ain't caught nothing.
Having to wait on bites. So I've cut out quite a bit of filming, obviously, but like I said, I can't catch anywhere else. So I try and catch a couple of fish before refeeding it. Have a look somewhere else when I've refed it, and then drop back on it. The sun's come out now for 5 minutes. It's very nice. But the fish have definitely got smaller. We had a skimmer just now. Small fish again. I felt we were catching up. I feel now we've been ticking over all right, and I think we might be top 3. But 5 and 9 are definitely ahead of me. 5's going to romp it, because young Lewis on 5 is shipped out 10 metres. Cab potted some maggots, dropped his rig on it, and he's had a fish every put down the same hole. So no one's beating him today. So it's all out for second, really. And I feel I've nearly caught Martin up, but the stamp of fish has really dropped. I'm catching faster than Martin, but he's still putting odd fish in the net, so it's not just catching him up, is it? It's sort of, he's staying ahead that little bit as well. He's had a comfortable lead on me today, so you've not seen him vaping quite so much today. Another skimmer. Nice to be catching though. It's all building the weight. I could do some better fish really though. Lead to my left is starting to catch, whether it's time of day or because the ice is thawed out and he's been able to go further across, I don't know, but I have noticed he's started to get a few fish as well. What fantastic fishing it is though through the ice, really. I mean, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Love Acorn. So 15 minutes to go now, and as you can see, I've added a section. I've actually gone past the feed. That last carp was a nice quality carp, but we couldn't get any. We waited sort of 10 minutes, nothing. So I refed and didn't go somewhere else. I've refed and just gone past the feed. And I'll be fishing this line out now with 15 minutes to go. I'm not going to be worrying about looking anywhere else. It's so tight. We're top 2 in the section. We could be sat 4th, 3rd or 2nd at the moment. I feel like we might be 3rd. I'm happy though. I mean, top 3 in section get paid out, and a 3rd would be quite good. But I don't feel I've really been on the sort of top pegs in any of the sections in the league so far. But I've been on okay ones, and we've done all right. We've had sort of, second and a third and such, but could really do with getting on the peg, in the next round for sure. Yeah, could do with a section win or two, really. And sort of strike a bit funny there where I'm lifting the whole pole up, because the 13 section is where so much of it is behind me. It's just hanging over me reeve roller there behind me. Just what the doctor ordered, this one. Got that horrible temptation to try and rush it, but at the same time you don't want to be too slow because it's coming towards the end of the match, but you don't want to rush it so much that you lose it, or it could be costly. Oh, that's a great fish.